everybody? It's old cousin Andy Jenkins, and I got my great friend, Mr. F. That's Mike Filsaime, business partner and amazing foodie extraordinaire. I bet you didn't know that about Mike. Mike knows his way around the kitchen better than just about any little brown person that I know. Today, we have a very special guest. We're excited that he could find time in his schedule because he's a very important, famous person. He's getting mugged on the street because he's so famous. His name is...
Girls are asking him to marry him on every third comment in YouTube.
Marry him! It's the hair. This is why I do it. But, you know, he's thin and attractive.
I'm growing mine out, if you can tell.
Are you doing that? That's cool. This, in case you don't know who Anthony Vincent is, Anthony Vincent, we found Anthony on Fiverr.
On Fiverr. 10-second songs.
10-second songs, right? And Anthony did some really cool musical pieces for our Video Genesis launch.
If you guys were part of our Video Genesis launch, you're recognizing Anthony right here. He did about 5 or 6 different 10-second pattern interrupt songs for us.
Everybody loved him, and so the reason we've got Anthony on today, not that, I mean, it would be enough that he, you know, is a singer and makes his living by singing and making music and living the life. He recently just blew the F up on YouTube, was on the front page of RollingStone.com, Huffington Post. You know, he's getting phone calls from producers to come and be on all kinds of shows, and he's basically, he's carving his own path.
All the way up to America's Got Talent, seeking him and begging him to get on there and perform.
It's a real privilege for us to have him today.
And as you can see behind us, the video that he did here was a cover of Katy Perry's Dark Horse in 20 different styles.
Now, Katy Perry allegedly is a very famous and popular lady singer.
It was the #1 song of the country for 4 weeks in a row.
16?
A little more than that.
She's a little bit older.
She's very pretty though.
She's very
I got a
pretty.
crush on Katy Perry. But anyway, 6 million views to this thing. I remember when I got the link. Somebody, I don't know how we found about it in the office. It had 6,000 views on it when I woke up in the morning, and I was going to text Anthony, "Hey, good job." And when I got to the office, it had 19,000 views in my half-hour drive here. Every time I hit refresh, the thing was blowing up. And you ended up doing about close to 1 million views in the first day with this video?
Well, it took from the first day that it actually was shared and went viral, Because, you know, what I did was at first I posted the video up, like, I think on like March 15th, and I didn't share it with anybody. I figured, you know, here I was thinking that YouTube was the way it used to be, and maybe I could just put it up and people will find it on their own. But no, YouTube has changed significantly, dude. Like, it's not like that anymore.
So let me ask you a question then. If we were going to backtrack and when I used to be an expert in viral marketing, and I always spoke about something called the catalyst phase, or basically you need the yeast that gets the infection going, you know, when you're looking at something that goes viral. So as you said, just putting the video out there, it was out there for a couple of days, nothing happened. What was the yeast? What was the infection stage that you started?
I'll be very honest with you. Like, a lot of people say, like, you know, a lot of people think there was a big factor of luck in this, and I can tell you firsthand, this was no luck. This was me executing a great idea that I had, and I put everything into it, and I made sure it was kick-ass. And then I went and I seeked out these big sites. You know, well, not super big. Like, for instance, the site, one of the first sites I contacted was lifebuzz.com. Okay, are you familiar with lifebuzz.com?
Yeah, I think that's where I first saw the video. They had embedded it on their site.
I contacted Lifebuzz, and this is exactly what I said to them. I said, "Hey guys, I contacted them on Facebook. I sent them a Facebook message. I said, listen, I just want to show you. I want to share with this thing I did with you guys. It's Katy Perry in 20 different styles. You know, I thought this was great content for your site. You know, and if you share it, I tell you, it's really good. And if you share it, I'll make you guys a jingle. I'm going to make you guys a jingle and stuff."
Reciprocity.
Immediately, they looked at it and said, "Hey, you know, I got to be honest. We threw a bunch of crap every day, and, you know, we never take requests like this, but this is really cool, and a good jingle is enticing to us, sounds enticing to us and stuff."
Let's go even further. I want to hear about, dude, this idea is fantastic.
Great idea.
Where did the idea come from? I mean, you said it was very deliberate and you reasoned it out. Tell us about that process.
Okay, well, what happened was, one day, this idea just hit me. It was like in November or December. I had this idea to take a pop song and do it in 20 styles. Originally, I was going to take it and do it in 20 styles, like 20 genres. Like, oh, Wrecking Ball, in hip R&B, now hip hop, now this and that. And I was like, I'm gonna run out of genres because, you know, how am I gonna do that? I'm gonna run out of genres. So I was like, no, I'll take artists. I'll take specific artists, and I'll do it in their style.
Like right now on our screen, we just happen to be like, you know, on the Nirvana style, and if we hit play, you know, I think the next thing on here is the Queen style, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So that probably opened up a lot more specific opportunities for you.
Because you're never going to run out of artists ever.
Yeah. No.
I mean, like, you know, even like in the metal genre, there are hundreds of big artists that all sound different from each other.
Yeah, you know, you got AC/DC, you've got Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden,
Metallica.
You know,
right. They're all distinctive. Yeah.
So the thing is that, and I never claim, and I still do not claim to be an impersonator. I do it, and I take, like, you know, I'll incorporate either some of their feel if the melody works well enough for it to pass off as their own song, or I'll include one of their songs in the mix to make it sound more like them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of like how I'm. That's the formula right there.
So I think that the first takeaway for our watchers and listeners is that this was strategic.
Yes.
Anthony didn't just.
You can tell by the quality of the production. He didn't walk into the studio one day and say, "Hey, let's try this."
You actually said to me that you wrote down a goal that I want to make a video that gets 1 million views.
Oh yeah, dude. I actually shared that it's on my Instagram. I share because Mike, you told me once to write down like a roadmap and all this stuff, and I wrote very specific things without fail, and I still do it every day. Like now it's changed because now that I've hit that big goal.
Think bigger.
Now, you know.
Yeah.
You know, but one of the big things in that like was 1 million video views. I would write that down every single day without fail, every day.
So Anthony, walk us through what happens now in that 48 hours. And that 48 hours is when shit was hitting the fan. Like what was life like when you're starting to realize that you're everywhere and time is going fast and slow at the same time?
Okay, well, the big thing is first of all, after LifeBuzz shared it, it was a day of they shared it on a Tuesday night, and then that following day the views were picking up. The views got up to like 11,000 views, I think, that whole day, and I was like, it was good. But there was a lot of people in the comments. It was weird because there's a lot of people in the comments saying, "Well, I'm glad I'm commenting on this video before it goes viral." And people were saying it like constantly, like this thing is going to go viral. I'm like, all right, well, when the hell is it going to go viral?
Tomorrow.
It's great that it's getting 11,000 views. That's awesome and stuff. But when is it going to blow? Because I was like, I knew that it was going to get at least 400,000 views, maybe in a week's time, you know. But then it was the next day. I was working on a parody in the next room, and all of a sudden, like I took my break to go run or to exercise, whatever I do every day, around 1 o'clock, and I look on my Facebook. First thing I noticed was on my phone. I noticed that I had 99 plus emails. Okay, and I look on there and I see a shitload of a bunch of.
No. It is metric shit ton of is how we would call it. Yeah.
Okay, all right. All right, so
it's rock and roll. You can say it. It's all good.
Yeah, dude, this is music business.
I saw a bunch of subscribers, like a ridiculous amount. I was like, well, that wasn't happening yesterday. I go on Facebook and a friend of mine says, "Yo, you're number 2 on you just made it on Reddit," and then my brother phones in right over here in the intercom. He says, "Ant, do you realize you were number 2 on Reddit right now?"
which is one of the top social bookmarking sites that people go to find out cool news.
That's right.
And you were number 2 across all categories.
Dude, it happened so fast because the minute I got the news that I was on Reddit, Mike, our other partner here, called me on the phone and said, "You are on E-Bombs World. You are on blah 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 blah." Simultaneously, I got contacted by just people off the bat. I was getting contacted by people right then and there, like for things like some. I didn't really. There were some things that I'm not going to talk too much about that I didn't go down that road.
The dirty underbelly of the music business.
Yeah, there was a. Please, I mean, there was a bunch. As a matter of fact, one of the first people that contacted me said, "Hey, you want to do a jingle for us?" was a porn site. I swear, I'm not making this up, dude.
Yeah, are you horny?
It's like contact.
Yeah, this is just going off the rails. So you got on the front cover of RollingStone.com, Rolling Stone magazine.
That was the next day. The next day, Rolling Stone got in touch with us, and one of the writers from Rolling Stone got in touch with us and said,
"You did an interview with them, right?"
What's up?
You did an interview?
Yeah, it was a phone interview that made it on the website. Yeah.
Yeah, I took screen captures of that out of my phone. I'm like, I got it just for myself.
There's Bob Dylan on the cover of Rolling Stone, or whoever the hell said that, I forget. That was killer. And so you don't want to talk about the America's Got Talent, but they contacted you too, right? They asked you to be on the show, and
it's not that I don't want to talk about it. It's just that it's not something that I'm gonna like go and flaunt. Say, hey, maybe one day I will.
But you can flaunt that you turned it down.
I turned them bitches down.
Listen, the reason being is, and the truth is, the reason why I didn't go with America's Got Talent. There's some people who said I made a mistake, but I think other people realize that when they hear my reasons, they understand why it was a good idea not to do it. Because I actually, out of good faith and just being a man of integrity, I did the audition video they requested. I did it. I scrunched it down to 90 seconds. Like they said, and I sent it over, and I told them, I was like, I'll be honest, I'm not comfortable doing this act because, at the time I was just getting over being sick. That was the whole thing too. Like when this video went viral, I got sick. It beat down on my immune system. Yeah. Okay, so I was just over being sick, so I didn't feel 100%. My voice sounded strained, and to be honest, this is never intended to be a live thing. When you're singing when you're going from R&B to pop to like hardcore heavy metal back down to like this back down to like other type of singing, it's hard to do live, and I never intended it to do. I've never ever tried to pass it off that this was a live take. And I've been very transparent about that from the very start, that this is something that I wanted to show as my production, my custom songs production. This was my way of promoting 10-second songs, and now it destroyed my business.
So let's talk about what happens when you be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it.
But let me do this before we talk about all the subscribers. Like you can publish a new YouTube video right now, and 184,000 people will get an email, and chances are you'll shoot right back up. But forget about all that for a second. How does this make you feel as somebody that your entire life you've been pursuing the art and the passion of music, and now all of a sudden you're recognized? What's different about it? What's different about you now when you wake up and you go to work?
When it first happened, it was a lot. It felt like a dream. It felt amazing. It was also scary at the same time.
Yeah, it's scary, right?
Instant fame.
Pretty scary at the same time. But now that there's been a drop off, and now that there's just like people who are like, all right, when's the next video coming out already? It's a little bit like I always thought that I always thought that it was going to be this thing where it's like, oh man, I can't wait for the day where I'm working on a YouTube video and there's like a fan base that's waiting for this. It's going to be so amazing. Now there's a little bit of like, listen, I know I'm not going to fail myself. I know that I'm going to do the best I can, and I'm going to put out quality work. But there's a little bit of like that kind of that anxiety that it may not be as good as the first one. I want to build momentum. I don't want to go back. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, we totally hear it's anybody can be a one-hit wonder. We've seen it all the time. Have the second one come out and being better than the first one, that's a rare thing. There was a thing, and I can share this with you, called The Curse of the Blair Witch Project. The Curse of the Blair Witch Project is like, as a filmmaker, what do you do after the Blair Witch Project? You know what I mean? And trust me, that's been a heavy burden. So totally understand where you're coming from, man. It's like, what do you do now? And you're definitely going to be judged. People are going to say, well, we question the song that he picked and why this stuff. It doesn't matter how good it is. If it blows away the first one, you're still in that. But with that said, it's not a bad thing to be looking forward to testing out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just, like my whole, like the thing is though, is like the other part of that is that, I can't be complacent if my life depended on it. I couldn't be. So it's like, right now it's like, I still feel like there's even more work to do than there was before, but I'm also stuck. I'm also kind of in a position right now. I'm not stuck. I'm not saying anything bad. This is nothing negative, but I'm in a position right now that before, whereas I was making a pretty decent living, and when I say by decent living, I mean like a lot more than I was making at Home Depot,
Yeah.
at least that much. Yeah. I was happy with what I was making.
With 10-second songs?
With 10-second songs,
your gigs at Fiverr, yeah.
Yeah.
With custom songs, you
right?
know?
Yeah.
So I was happy before all this happened. Now I'm in a position where my value has gone up, but I don't have anyone to tell me what I should be charging. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you reached it was a paradigm shift that happened. So you did this video. And you got like 47 gigs for Fiverr, and then you had to shut the account down because you were getting, instead of 2 gigs a day, you were getting 2 gigs an hour, and it couldn't scale. So you had to get on the phone with Fiverr, and they will, you had to explain to them.
It's like, it's fair to say that, and not to be dramatic and dreamy, but it's changed your life because it's wrecked some things and opened doors to others, right?
Yeah.
Great way to put
it. There is a ton of things that now this, so as far as being a content creator now on YouTube.
Yeah.
Now that opens doors on that level, because now we're partnered up with a YouTube network that has the same they're big YouTube network or top 10 that pretty much is gonna help us optimize the channel, and that's going to be one thing where now because of what happened with, are we allowed to talk about the whole revenue thing? Or?
Yeah.
Sure.
So I'll give a little bit of feedback. So guys, as you know, when you go to YouTube, you see ads. Either they pre-roll or there's a little ad there. And that's part of Google's partner program. And the metric normally is, it changes depending on a couple of things, but for every 1 million views, you get about $5,000 in income.
Yeah.
And that sounds great, but getting 1 million views isn't necessarily easy.
Yeah.
So there's a formula, to go out there, and that's why Anthony's going with content networks that actually share the videos, and everything helps perpetuate each video. But so Anthony was sitting back waiting for this money, logging into his account, hitting the refresh button, and it's not showing up. So what happened?
Well, pretty much there was a number of things that were told to us. One of the things was that because it was a brand new YouTube account, they didn't recognize it or whatever. But then when we asked our network, there was something about that because it was a cover song, and because it wasn't we just got screwed out of what we should.
So they found a way to get you. They found a way to get you.
Google slapped with the other hand.
Yeah.
I made some money off of it, but it wasn't like bad. Like it wasn't like I made $2. No, there was some money, but it wasn't nearly as much as it should have been if it was an original video, original content.
You actually reached some of the artists, right? Some of the different artists that you did a style in actually reached out to you, right?
Oh, well, I had Typo Negative shared the video on their Facebook and Twitter. Corey Taylor from Slipknot, he actually tweeted out saying, "This guy is awesome. I want to meet this dude," which was a big honor. I mean, he's one of the biggest voices in rock music. You had who else? You got Boyz II Men. They tweeted at me saying they wanted to take me on tour, but
yes,
that was cool and all, but that's just really not what I want to be doing right now.
Yeah, that's the thing is, actually the power of no is a very strong thing. Being able to flex the no muscle so that you can write your own destiny. The opportunity is yours, and sometimes so many things come at us so fast, we start saying yes to the opportunities, and they actually slow down some of the bigger opportunities that would have come around.
Yeah, it's like I believe in you write your own story too, Like, for instance, if I had... let me just say too, Tech9 shared it out as well. I actually did an interview with Strange Music, his label, which you can find on Strange Music Incorporated, their website and stuff, which is pretty cool because it kind of showcases all the projects I do here. But the whole thing, like what I was saying, is like I really believe that you write your own story as you go, and I really considered a lot of things. Like, for instance, the America's Got Talent thing is a perfect example. Did I want to be remembered? Because there was the Journal News in my area. Like the journal, it's pretty big. The Journal News in my area, I was in the paper. Like they did an article on me saying, Anthony Vincent, the media dark horse from Portchester, New York. Like, here's this nobody who comes out of nowhere with a viral video. And do I want to be remembered as that was where I got my start? The lead singer of Set the Charge, who's now selling out Madison Square Garden, that is where he got his start by coming from the ground out of nowhere with a viral video, and he built his own empire off of that. Or do I want to be the one who had a viral video, but now that is completely overshadowed because he was on America's Got Talent?
Yeah, and you're an also ran.
And now I'm the guy who's on America's Got Talent who did the voices.
For 20 years.
Yeah. That's no good to me. I don't like that. I think that it's one or the other. Those storylines don't mix together well.
Good for you, Anthony.
That right there is huge. The fact that this came out of nowhere is such a great story that the other stuff just doesn't mix. It doesn't mix with that. I can build off this. This is my own momentum. Right now, I'm in complete control.
So let's talk about building off of it. What is the reach given you? We can see your number of subscribers here, 185,000 people subscribe to your channel now that will get in their newsfeed every time you put out a new video. What other stuff did you do with things like Facebook and social media? Because I also see that blowing up for you as well.
Yeah, I have like 21,000 likes on Facebook. Like it's nothing close to what I have on YouTube, but you know, it's just these are the people who I guess really want to connect. Like they're the ones that end up being the fans. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those, like the Instagram followers, the Facebook, those are the real.
They're hardcore.
Yeah, and I just do like while I'm not, you know, putting out content, I do some funny little things here and there on Instagram. Like, you know, I just like just me being you know, myself, whatever.
Engagement, yeah.
Yeah, just sharing some things, maybe putting up like a status here and there that pertains to something inspirational, or I've even shared some things that like some of my interests. You know, just kind of like developing this little, you know, like just kind of connecting with this core that I have right now of fans. So this way they're a little bit more, you know, they feel a little bit more connected to me on just more than just oh, this is that dude who sings. You know, I wanted to kind of break up because that this YouTube account came out of nowhere, and that and literally it doesn't happen every day that all of a sudden a YouTube account is created one day and has and in a month's time gets 184,000 subscribers. That's like a lot of, you know, off of one video. That a lot of people don't like. That doesn't happen too often. So I wanted to kind of to break the mysticism about it, it almost seemed prophetic, too prophetic. So I just wanted to be like, hey guys, hey, what's up? I'm a real guy. Just calm down, you know.
Yeah.
Here's my Instagram. Here's a picture. Here's a selfie.
Well, what you got, Anthony, is you've got a formula, you know, and it's unique to you because, you know, when you go to your Fiverr, your 10-second songs, you say, I'll do a song for you, a custom song in 10 seconds in any one of these styles, and then you show all the different styles. So this is something that's wonderful because it actually works within your passions and your talents, and you can duplicate this over and over again. So you have something that you can create your own brand with this channel because it's all about you.
Yeah.
Hey, Anthony, there's a lot of people watching that are looking for the kind of inspiration that's going to take them to the level of success that you have here. Just, you know, thinking from their position, what kind of tips you can have, you know, mental inspiration, emotional inspiration, what can you tell them?
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say that as long as you stay creative and as long as you stay consistent, you're going to get to wherever you want to be. That's just what it is. You have to stay creative and you can never, I mean, discouragement is easy. I'll put it this way: how you handle the bad days are a real test of your character. Because if you can somehow manage to still, you know, if you set like, for instance, you set like a set schedule for you to follow every day. Like, oh, I have to work out every day. I have to do this at this time. I have to do this time. If you can still manage to even get stuff done on the bad days, even if it's just like, oh, I still, no matter what, yeah, I slipped here, I slipped there, but I still worked out. That's important, you know, because trust me, that is like the engine that you just keep putting fire into that engine. And believe me, even if it's just working out, it helps because the next day you're going to be it's going to be fuel to do more and do more. And you have to constantly keep in your head, you can never just, you know, mentally give up on anything that you're doing. If you started something and you felt good about it, like a lot of people have a great idea they feel good about at one time, and then time passes and they're like, ah, this idea sucks, I'm not doing it. No, you have to push that shit out of your head, and you gotta keep attempting to reconnect to that source that gave you that inspiration and hold on to it for dear life and just keep putting stuff out.
Great tips, great advice.
From a guy that's Been there, done that, and has got the YouTube channel.
Yeah, we're happy for your success, Anthony. Couldn't happen to a better guy.
And I'm looking forward to see what happens next.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I am too. This is it's unfolding, before me as well. Like this is it's an interesting experience, but I'm keeping as level-headed as I can.
Yeah,
Awesome.
well, we want to thank you for doing this interview with our subscribers. We'll get you the video as well if you want to put it on your YouTube page. make us famous.
Sure.
I love it. Thanks, dude. Hey, listen, you need anything we can help you with, let us know. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely, guys. It was great. Thanks for having me.
Right on. Everybody, Anthony Vincent, make sure that you go hang out at his YouTube channel, get him on Facebook, like him, share him, tweet him.
Fiverr.com/10-second songs.
That's right.
The word 10, T-E-N.
All right here on the screen, 10secondsongs.com. Yeah, get them. Thanks, everybody, and we will see you in the next video. This has been a random act of coolness.